Hey YA nerds, my name is Kaye and I like to read a lot, and today on Kaye Reads a Lot, I want to talk to you all about We Are Okay by Nina LaCour. First of all, I know I always say this, but like this cover, guys, this cover, it's so gorgeous. I love that it continues all the way around the book to the back. I love that it continues on the inside. I love this book. We'll talk about why. But anyway, We Are Okay. This book came out in February of 2017. It is a mere 236 pages, so really not that long. Definitely could be read in like a sitting or two. And it won the Prince Award in 2018, which is really exciting. So the Prince Award is honored every year to a YA book that is outstanding in many ways, and this one won. And it's really important that this one won because it is about a queer relationship. Our main character is a lesbian. I think she's queer, but I think she's a lesbian. And she falls in love with her best friend, who I'm pretty sure is bisexual. She dates boys too. They're both queer. We could just use the umbrella term. It makes my life easier. But yeah, so I read this book December 2019, so kind of a while ago, but it stuck with me and I still remember a lot about it, so I just wanted to talk about it. So, We Are Okay follows Marin and Mabel, who are best friends. And Marin, at the beginning of the story, is in a college in New York. What's up, home state? She's originally from California, and she kind of runs away from a traumatic thing that happens there that you find out as the story goes on. And she has not spoken to anybody from her old life in California. She literally like picked up and left one night without saying anything and just went to college early. Did like an early, I don't think it was an early admission, but it was like an early move-in date. She like got in contact with the college and did that. So I do think this book is also really interesting because a lot of YA books cover just high school, and this one covers like a freshman year of college. So we are starting to see a lot more young adult novels actually approach the adult part of young adult, and this one definitely does that very well. So Marin's in college. She has something traumatic that has happened to her that we don't know about throughout the story. But also she talks about how she and her best friend Mabel kissed on a beach one night and she's in love with her. And that kind of ties into the traumatic thing that happened to Marin in California that we end up learning about. But also while all of this is happening, Marin is slowly being snowed in at the college. It is winter break there, and a lot of the other students have gone home, but she can't, or won't rather. And because of that, she gets trapped at the campus. And then Mabel shows up, and they get trapped together, and Marin kind of has to face the traumatic thing that happened to her in California. And it is beautiful. The cover of the book is beautiful. The prose is beautiful. I think that was like one of the first things I wrote about my review part of this, so I will also say it again later on in this. But it takes you by surprise, the thing that happened that we can't talk about because it's a spoiler. And yeah, so I think that's really all I can say about the plot of this book before we get into spoiler territory. And I guess now we'll just talk about the tropes. So the tropes. I came up with this list as well as a couple of words from other librarians. I can't English today anymore, apparently. That sentence does not make any sense. Let me restart. Okay. So the tropes. So I came up with this list of tropes with some help from some librarians as well as the internet, using fan fiction. Oh my god. Restart. Jesus. So the tropes. So as some of you know, if you've watched any of these videos before, I consider tropes to be a really good thing with YA fic, or even any other kind of fic, because it does help you like figure out what you like to read and find other books that apply to that. And so I came up with this list of tropes using the internet, as well as help from some of the librarians and my friends. Hi Tessa. I will keep saying hi Tessa in every video because she really did help me so much. And so we all came up with this list of like 45 tropes that I've been like fiddling with, and sometimes I'll delete one or edit one or, you know, make it better. But I'm also always looking for other tropes to apply to books because I think that it's a really good tool to use to help you find things you like to read. So with that being said, the tropes for We Are Okay are beautiful first lines. Basically the first lines of the book drag you in with like their poetry, their heart-wrenchingness. I think in regards to this book specifically, the first couple of lines are really beautiful and poignant. And so they kind of like really bring you into the story. We also have broken family units. Marin lives with her grandfather. Her mother died, I don't remember how long before the beginning of the book, I think from cancer or something like that. And so she, not that she lives in a broken home, but that her family has been decimated in such a way. And so that's the family that she has. We also have communication is key. If only Marin would speak to somebody. It's the main like plot of the book is that she won't talk to anybody from home. But if she just did, I mean, yes, there wouldn't be a book, but like she would also fix things a lot faster. It's really frustrating. I think that's part of the charm of the book though. We also have love triangle. So as I said earlier, Mabel and Marin, you know, kind of have a thing, and then Mabel winds up with a boyfriend midway through the book that you find out about. And so I kind of consider that a little bit of a love triangle because there is still chemistry between the two best friends. It could just be because they're best friends and like sisters, which is a little weird, but whatever. But I also think like that applies to like the love triangle thing. We also have only one friend in the world. Again, Mabel and Marin are each other's best friends and the only friends that they both have. And we also have strong/smart female protagonist. I feel like this applies to like a lot of the books that I've been reading these days. They're both really smart girls. They're both really strong girls, even though Marin is kind of falling apart at the seams because of the trauma that happened to her. And then we also have unusual names. I've never met anyone named Marin before. That's my only unusual name. And it's not even that really unusual. It's just a name I've never heard of before. So as usual, if you liked any of these tropes or you agree with them or disagree with them, let me know in the comments below. I always like talking about the tropes and like applying other tropes to books and stuff. I think it's really fascinating, like the things that we can see in books that other people don't see. Yeah, so that's it for that. And we'll talk more about the Readalikes now. My favorite part. Readalikes, Readalikes, we're gonna talk about the Readalikes, 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 we're gonna talk about the Readalikes, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm also like, I got my shot yesterday. I know, I think I said this in the other video I'm recording. I got my COVID shot, my panorama shot, and I'm a little loopy. I don't have a fever, but I'm a little loopy. So the singing is worse than usual. So anyway, for this book, we have a couple of Readalikes. I like to gather Readalikes from other online sources, but I'm also a librarian, so I take pride in the fact that I can recommend books to people based on what they like to read, as long as it's a book that I have already read. So for this, we have from Goodreads, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and I just read this book. And I kind of agree with this. They both have protagonists that run away from their problems, so I can see that. They both have protagonists who are dealing with like anxiety and depression, so I can see that. And they both have protagonists that are dealing with some family-related trauma, so I can also see that and how they are related. Other than that, the two plots are like nothing alike. And I also feel like Alice Oseman's work specifically, this book specifically, Radio Silence, is a little queer. A little bit, but I feel like We Are Okay's tackles more WLW relationship, and so you have that distinction too. I just wanna be mean to Goodreads. I just want to never accept Goodreads recommendation. This is a good recommendation. Good job, Goodreads. But I would never want to accept it. We also have from novelist If I Stay by Gail Forman. This is a really popular YA book, and a YA book that was made into a movie, and so I kind of know the plot just based on that. Pretty sure main character, played by Chloe Grace Moretz, I think, is in a coma from a car accident. Something traumatic happened, and she is a disembodied spirit, kind of watching the drama unfold from her being unconscious in a hospital bed, and she has to decide if she's going to live or die. And I think that's a really fascinating idea to roll with, because we really don't know what happens to people who are in comas or who are brain dead or brain damaged. You know, we don't really know what happens if their soul leaves their body. So I think it's a fascinating examination on like what we hope kind of happens to people who are in this situation, or maybe what we don't want our loved ones to go through in that situation. And I can kind of see the connections to We Are Okay, where you have someone who went through some trauma and is trying to decide how to deal with it and if they want to keep going or not. Marin at one point in We Are Okay, I think, is a little suicidal, so it does make sense that these two are connected, in my opinion. And it is also a fascinating, discussion to have about teens specifically, that a lot of teens feel a lot of things. And so, I know a lot of adults are like, oh, teen drama is not really a big deal, but like to them it is. And, the traumatic thing that happens to both of these characters in both of these books affects them in profound ways. And their reaction to that is not unusual. It's not unusual to run away from your problem, especially if your problem is something family related or something that's so traumatic you can't even look at it straight away. So yeah, there's my PSA. I'm gonna get off my soapbox to talk about the last book I have on here. I also have History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This book also deals with trauma and grief. It deals with a main character whose boyfriend moves away from him, I'm pretty sure, I think across the country, and then dies tragically as they're breaking up, pretty much. Like, they break up, and I think it's like a week or two later he dies, or maybe a month or two later he dies. And so the main character kind of has to deal with this grief that he's going through with regards to his ex, while also dealing with the ex's new boyfriend who was with him when he passed away. Again, a very traumatic book to read. Adam Silvera is great for that. I also talked about his book, They Both Die at the End, like 2 years ago. I love that book. That book is amazing and excellent and wonderful. And so I like always read Adam Silvera's stuff. But yeah, this book I think really goes well with We Are Okay. Mostly because it does deal with trauma and death of a loved one and a queer relationship. So yeah, that's it for the Readalikes. Let me know what you all think, if you've read any of these books or not. If you have an opinion about any of these books or not, you can leave me a comment down below. And we can talk about it. If you have recommendations for me based off of We Are Okay, feel free to tell me about them. I'm always looking for things to add to my TBR. And even though it's like forever long and I'm never gonna finish it, it's still fun for me to talk about books and recommend books to people. So there you have it. So my review for this, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It was really beautiful. The prose was gorgeous. The twist really caught me by surprise. It was really, really sad, and I really just wanted Marin and Marin and Mabel. I just wanted them to be happy. I just wanted to shake both of them though and tell them to communicate. This is the only reason I took a point off, is I was like, I just want you to talk to each other. It does add to the book, however, it makes the book what it is, because without that hurdle, we wouldn't have a book. So, yeah, I was happy with it. I'm just gonna keep going. And yeah. Definitely pick it up. Definitely go read it. Here's the cover again. Gorgeous cover. Oh, I love this book. I also wanted to say at the very end of this, because maybe nobody will watch to this part, but I bought my sister this book 2 years ago. That's why I have it in hardcover, and she's not picked it up once. You can tell Like, you can tell that no one has touched this book. There's no break in the seams at all. So this is a call out post to my little sister. Read the books I buy you. And that's it for this review. Let me know what you guys think, if you've read this book or not. And I guess I will catch you all later. So peace out, YA nerds.